Balkan dances, Balkanske Igre, one of the Balkan ensembles in Chicago, my favorite one.
I'm just the night janitor.
And when was it? It was actually founded here in Chicago,
Yes.
at University of Chicago in '64.
The ensemble was founded in '64 in December in Hyde Park with mostly students, faculty, staff, and U of C. And in those early days, that's when the U of C Folk Festival was founded, which just took place last weekend. And then within the same time frame, something called the U of C Folk Dancers, which is interested in dances and music from around the world. This is before the whole category called world music came to being. People interested in culture, music, dance from around the world. Then in '64, the group was doing some dancing. I'm not sure if it's impromptu or organized at Navy Pier, and some Bulgarians happened to walk by. And it says, "How do you know our dances? Why are you doing our dances?" And by the way, we have an old calendar, Orthodox Christmas, coming up, January 7th. Would you please come and dance for our party? So that's how the group became more formally organized. This is before my time, but that's part of our oral history, if you will, for the group. So with that, should we start?
Please.
Okay, first of all, thanks to Angelina and to Meredith for inviting me again and having this, having the first of the Balkan Folklore course. This is something that we never had when I was here. We had to go scrounge for stuff on our own. And now you have the university
Well,
actually
you
giving
made
a
it
course.
much more interesting.
So anyway, I think Jeremy had indicated in the invitation that this will be on Balkan rhythms, and that'll be a large portion of it, but I'd like to also speak more broadly about Balkan dance and music. We have, by the way, a group here. Martin's a member of it. If you have further interest, talk to me later on. I have some music also to give out today. I don't have enough copies, but we'll get copies for everyone who would like to have one. But if you're interested in Balkan music, dance, culture in general, we serve as sort of a clearinghouse for information about events, upcoming events, and we also have a big event at the end of March, which I'm passing the flyers around. So,
And the ensemble is coming on May.
Exactly,
March
we'll be doing a
8th.
Balkan basics class for this class, right? And that's also open to the public. But let's get started with Balkan dance and music has many aspects of interest, not only for natives of the Balkans, but to anyone with a lively interest in that which is excellent in the world. Ethnomusicologists and ethnologists approach Balkan music from the point of view of social scientists, whereas dancers and musicians approach these as uniquely interesting and challenging artistic forms, which help extend their horizons and aesthetic senses, and the innovative use of additive rhythms based on aksak, which is a Turkish word meaning limping rhythms, largely absent from the art and popular music of the West. So in the West, while these forms may have existed at one time, certainly in the last several hundred years, they've been largely absent, except for conscious creations by people like Dave Brubeck. So what I'm referring to is that in Western art and classical music, you have primarily these days 2/4, 3/4, 4/4. By the way, let me do a level set. How much, to what extent should I limit or use standard musical terminology? Are most people familiar with time signatures and things of that type? If not, I can describe it simply in terms of long beats, short beats, which is what dances do also. So you tell me what you're comfortable with, and we'll go wherever you like.
It's different.
Yeah, and that's fine. If I stop making sense, please interrupt me, and we'll reset. So in Western art and classical music, you pretty much have 2/4, 3/4, 4/4, 6/8, and that, whether you talk about Beethoven, hip hop, those are your time signatures that exist in music. And what's interesting is that if you look around the world, and in particular in the Balkans, you have this tremendous wealth of variety of meters, of metrical forms that range not only through the ones we mentioned, but also you have 5/16, 7/16, 9, 11, 12, 15, 18, even 25/16. Okay? And that sounds sort of forbidding, and it sounds like, how can anyone follow that music? How can anyone play it? And the answer is that what's interesting is that the Balkan so-called asymmetrical meters are based on this principle I mentioned earlier called aksak, which is a Turkish word that some musicologists use to describe this phenomenon, since the terminology is absent in the Western conception of popular and art music. And that is the idea of beats of unequal duration. In the Western canon, beats have to be of equal duration, okay, at least in just about all the music that you come across, popular or classical. But in the Balkans, for quite some time, there's evolved the concept that you could have unequal beats. And that's not a new idea. If you look at Greek literature, right, ancient poems, what do you have? Iambic pentameter and such, where you have the idea of different durations in poetry, right? Different ways you can accent your poetic phrases. So in Balkan music, you can either say they sustain or preserve this element where the most basic components of your music can be of unequal duration. And the most, probably the easy example to cite is the thing called paidushko, so-called limping dance. It consists of a long beat, a short beat followed by a long beat. Quick, slow, quick, slow, quick, slow. Western musicologists, when they first encountered this, went crazy because they thought, you can't have unequal beats. We have to force this into a scheme where it's little even beats. So they listened to it, and then, well, it's really 1 2 1 2 3, 1 2 1 2 3, right? 2 3 2 3. Now everything's back in order, right? The commonplaces are preserved, and Western civilization is saved. Well, that's okay up to a point. If you're listening to certain genres of Balkan music that keep pretty strict to that kind of metrical idea, especially in more recent times when you have state conservatories teaching folk traditions, quote unquote, then they actually reading notes off the page, and then yes, they'll play a 5/16 or a 7/16 or 9/16. But actually in the village, in its original setting, in the original sources, whether you're talking about an Albanian shepherd or a Macedonian villager or a Bulgarian peasant somewhere in the mountains in the Stara Planina, their conception of music may not conform to the idea of separating these beats into discrete, smaller beats. Right? For them, it's a limping rhythm. Dum da, da-dum da, da-dum da. And in fact, all of you have this rhythm in you. Right? You're born with it. Your heart. Remember your biology? Love dub, love dub, love dub. So all your life, you've sustained this most basic component that's characteristic of Balkan music. Right? Quick, slow, quick, slow, quick, slow. Your heart isn't beating even beats, and neither does Balkan music. Balkan music has, as I said, even meters, but it contains the most basic, the most natural, the most human characteristic of having this dum da, da dum da da, da dum da da, da dum da. And in fact, we've done collaborations with a Native American ensemble, and they call it, in fact, the heartbeat rhythm. So pretty neat, huh? I mean, who knows? I mean, there's no research that's shown whether this heartbeat rhythm once existed in prehistory, and the Native Americans carried it across, into North America, and meanwhile the nomadic tribes in Eurasia carried to the Balkans. No one knows. I'm not sure anyone can say. But it's interesting to know that in the Balkans, you sustain and retain this basic component, which then is used to build the entire edifice, all these complicated time signatures, as expressed in the Western musical notation, of course. Later on, I'll break it down and show you it's really much easier than thinking about 25/16ths. So if you hang on to the idea that this quick, slow, we'll use the heartbeat rhythm for now, or limping rhythm as they call it in the Balkans, okay? Then that is our basis for understanding Balkan rhythms. So am I talking too fast? You still following me so far? In fact, let's get an example of that. The audio, the fourth track should be Paidushko. In fact, let me give you my script here so you can follow me. Oh, number 6. Number 6, it's a C.
Mm-hmm.
If not, we can play on the tarabuka. That's Vulkana Stoyanova. Yeah, and again. There you go. Exactly. That's how Western musicologists account it. But the way they play it could be anything from have to be exactly 1 2 1 2 3. That's how you describe it and teach it. But when they really play, it's much more interesting. They can take beats out or add beats in. That's great. Thank you. So, anyways, in our classroom session, our focus will be centered on a practical demonstration of Balkan rhythms and listening to some samples of Balkan music. Angelina, you can actually give some brief samples from the very first cut, because I started with unmetered pieces, just to give an idea that not all Balkan music is metered. Yeah, start the very first track, just a small sample of it, because I want to show not just meter, but tonality. This is a great singer by the name of Volkana Stoyanova, who was from Thracia, from Thrace. Just studying voice. It's a lament about the classic story of a Slavic, white, Bulgarian girl who gets mixed up with a dark Roma, and the consequences of it. And her husband, your fiance, Stoyan. So we can go to the next one. We don't have to hear the whole story. That's from the eastern Bulgarian region. This is from western Bulgaria, called Vetarve, The Wind is Blowing, by Klemena Stancheva, one of the greatest Chopin-style singers, who was here last year with Le Mystère de Bulgar, if you folks are familiar with their choir or may have even owned CDs by them. Right. What's interesting there is that it took leading-edge classical composers until the 20th century to discover dissonance as an idea that could be beautiful or interesting musically. And the Balkan peasants in the Shop region have had this kind of diatonic singing for many centuries. And they purposely sing in these very close intervals and create those beats that you heard. And they find that very beautiful. And they did that, again, decades, if not centuries before people like Schoenberg or other Western musicians began experimenting with that. Let's have one more, which is a Greek sample. Right, number 3, Skaros from Epirot, Western Greece. Skaros is in the masculine is called Ezgia. It's a arrhythmic improvisation. Those are bells you would hear on the sheep herds. If you find this interesting, the gentleman playing is James Stoyanov, who is a Greek Macedonian descent. He lives here in Chicago, and will be teaching and performing at our Spring Festival on March 20th through 22nd. So his specialty is Epirot Greek, Macedonian, which is part of his roots. And for this particular festival, he and a group of musicians from this area have been working on the old town traditions of Macedonia, called Chalgia, which is Turkish influenced style of music. So, great. So those are some of the examples of free meter. Let's give people some samples of Balkan music that's actually in straight time. First is something called Marino, which features kaval. In fact, I'll pass this around later on, but what you'll be hearing are these instruments I'll show you right now. And make that a little louder, because Now you hear the tambura, which is a string instrument similar to a mandolin. Usually in either 2 courses, 2 double courses in Macedonia, or 3 courses in Bulgaria. No. I have to just hold it still. There we go. So that tone, the very low tone you hear, is the so-called kaba, the deep tone, gaida, bagpipe, Macedonian bagpipe. And that's to be pass this around, be really, really careful, because the gentleman who made this has passed away, and you can no longer get these kabals, except I guess on secondary market. But I haven't found anything on eBay recently. These were made in a village called Arachinovo, east of Skopje, by an Albanian kabal master, maker of kabal, called named Islam Virati. And for several generations, he was the primary maker of this Macedonian style kabal, which is made from an ash wood that grows in the mountains outside Skopje. They would take lengths of wood, age it for a number of years, maybe 5 to 10 years, and usually always made in pairs, as you can see, so that they have the same tonality. And typically, shepherds would play this. And this is, we can let it play. This is a more contemporary style, typical of Rome. When I say Rome, I mean people formerly called gypsies, which there are many in Bulgaria, Romania, Yugoslavia, ex-Yugoslavia, and who are very, very central to the traditional musical life. So, there are numerous stories about kabal and kabal playing, which if we have time, I'll tell you some of those stories later on. While we're passing it around, we can go ahead and stop that music and let's go to the next item, okay? So, we talked about how Balkan music is based on the concept of aksak, or limping rhythm. And if you look at time signatures such as 7, 9, 11, what they basically consist of are shorter beats that you might describe as being approximately 2, let's say 16 beats duration, coupled with 1 or more longer beats of approximately, let's say 3/16 or 3/8, depending on the tempo duration. So if we listen to a very typical Macedonian rhythm, which should be track, right, that's Pajdushko again. Let's make it number 7. The most famous Macedonian song, Makedonska Devojka. This is a song that extols the virtues of Macedonian girls. Here you have an example of a rhythm which is slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, long, short, short, long, short, short, which musicologists using Western notation have decided is 3 plus 2 plus 2. 3, 2, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 2. We'll play simply. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. But nobody plays it this way, right? The native musicians would. this is the most typical. So much so that they call it Rhythmic. Everyone grows up doing this in weddings, celebrations in monasteries. They call them sabor. And anytime Macedonians get together. The next one is the same thing. We don't have to play. We can just give us a small sample. Same rhythm, different melody. More sokopie. It's probably comes from the time of the so-called Bulgarian revival. Song from the Macedonian region, but popular throughout Piedmont and Vardar regions. The song is about a hawk drinks from the Vardar River. And the instrument you're hearing is called a tambura, with a kaval in the background. Okay, let's get to the next one. Still on 7/16, but again, back to the kaval. Again, the instrument I'm passing around. What you hear is one person playing the so-called iso, or the drone. And then the primary play then moves up and down the scale. There's a sort of ethereal, breathy tone which I just love. Unmetered now, 7. Slow, quick, slow. Now back to unmetered again. The drum you hear is the tapan. Unfortunately, I didn't bring that today, but it's a big bass drum. Play with a heavy stick and a light stick. Okay. Let's get to the next one, which is still considered 7/16. And this is where the Western notation gets confusing. If you count all the little beats, you still get 7/16, as were the several samples before this. But as you can see, the accents are totally different. This one, strictly speaking, doesn't have an oxop, doesn't have a lengthened beat. But it consists of primary beats that are approximately a certain duration and half of that. So the musicians say it's 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2. Slow, slow, quick, slow, 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 quick, slow, 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 quick, slow, 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 quick, slow, 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 quick, slow. A very popular dance throughout Central Balkans, probably originated from northern Bulgaria and then spread during the Balkan Wars and after throughout what is today called Republic of Macedonia, northern Greece, and throughout Bulgaria. Okay, let's go to one more. This is still called 7/16 in Western notation. Okay? At this point, Ambura. Can anybody tell me what the groupings are? Or quicks and slows? Not you. Martin, let's go off there. See, Tambura, Daida, Tapan in the background. This is very typical of the sound from the Piedmont region of Bulgaria. The Piedmont Macedonian region of Bulgaria, Western Bulgaria. Any candidates for what this meter is? Just tell me in quicks and slows. Or what time signature you prefer. No one? How many beats in the measure? By the way, don't feel bad. A quick story. One of my good friends and who studied Balkan dance with me, named Laura Fenster, who teaches at the Sherwood Conservatory. She's a concert pianist and teaches at the Sherwood Conservatory. Herself as a teacher, who will remain unnamed, but is a distinguished member of the Montreal Conservatory and who's considered a world-renowned expert on rhythm. And when she played, after she's been studying Balkan dance for a while, she played some of the Balkan music samples for him. And this poor fellow, who was a world-renowned expert in rhythm, couldn't get it. He was just absolutely furious. So don't feel bad. For those who are not schooled in Balkan music, even though they may be otherwise very, very literate in music, the Balkan rhythms can be a challenge. But once you understand the idea of the oxop, it becomes trivia. This is 3 beats to the measure. Quick, quick, slow. Quick, quick, slow. Room, ta, ta, room, ta, ta. Room, look louder. Room, ta, 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 room, ta, ta. double, triple, double, double, triple. Quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow. This is the most characteristic, maybe popular dance for Bulgarians and festive occasions. Verechenica, named after the hand and handkerchief. In a minute, if we play any more, Angelina's gonna start dancing, so we can pause that. Maybe you want to see that. So, right. So, is it making sense so far? We looked at a number of samples of music which in conventional Western notation we call 7/16ths. And yet you see how, depending on if the aksak, the lengthened beat, is in the beginning, like slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, or at the end, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow, or split apart in some other way, such as slow, slow, quick, slow, even though they're all nominally 7/16ths, that designation is no longer useful because it's not uniquely specify a given rhythm. Okay, it may give us a metrical count that approximates how many beats there are, but even then, that's only if you're approaching it in a strictly academic fashion. If you go to a village musician, if you go to the real sources, they'll stretch the beats, compress the beats. They don't really care about 7s and 9s, etc. They play based on how they feel those beats as being lengthened or compressed. And sometimes, especially if it's in a real setting where in a celebration we have dancers and musicians who are playing, the lead dancer may actually set the tempo, and he or she may decide to stretch a beat or hold a beat, and the good musicians will actually, I have some examples of that, will actually just stay right with them. So the whole idea of that it must be a 7 or a 9, even that gets stretched. So, okay. Any questions so far about 2s versus 3s, the concept of aksak, of limping rhythms, how that's used to construct as complex a set of meters as you like? Or have I lost everybody? Okay, let's hear another sample, okay? For this one, let's see, I've got 3 or 4 discs to give away. Yeah, Martin, you keep quiet on this one. If you can figure this one out, I'll give you a disc. How's that? They're smiling because this song is from their country. It would help you. The singer is Slaka Cultura. Now you should know what the word meter is, right? Which is from Yambo in Eastern Thracia. I know you guys know it. It's a cute song. It's saying, I'm a white rose with thorns, so be careful. Sorry? I'm sorry. The total number of beats in terms of length, longs and shorts is correct. Okay, and you can tell me where the long and shorts where it begins. Let's say 1. So yes, you're on the right track. You have the right portion of length and long and short beats. This brings us to another interesting idea. This is completely unconscious for English speakers. In the Balkans, especially let's say for people who speak Serbian, in Serbian language, there is no direct association between length of a syllable and stress. So for example, the word for the peasant footwear made of leather, optanci, accent is on the op, but the A is long. If you ask a Native American English speaker to repeat that back to a native is saying, unconsciously he or she will say Balkanske, because in English, unless you're from the South, you say guitar. Most people say guitar, like a long syllable with stress. In this case, what's maybe confusing is that the first count that's accented is not necessarily the long count. When I say, if you're American, you probably think of the lengthened count, quantity stress, and that's got to be the first count. Right? And that's a very natural, unconscious association. So tell me again what you just said. If there is a meter and rhythm that goes with that, but not this one. We get one more try. There is a sample later on that contains that, but that's not it. Okay. I'm sorry? Yes! Yes!
Only one left.
Well, I have to, copy. I'll give you a choice. You can have what's being played, or have a disc of almost all Rome. There's people who formerly played this. Authentic Rome music will go. Sample of music, of rhythms, or Rome music. If you can't decide, just close your eyes and pick one. Okay? So, exactly right. The beats are quick, slow. Quick, slow. Double, triple. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Good? I'll play for you simply and then add it. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So, Martin was already ready to jump off his chair to either dance or just play. So very good. So that is what musicologists call anomaly in a 9/16 meter. Right? Quick, slow. 2, 2, 2, 3. But again, when they get excited, when they start playing, usually when the music is slower, there's a tendency to make the beats more rubato, more stretched out. When the music gets faster, it tends to converge toward more of a standard 9, 7, 11, and what have you. Okay? Next one, let's play that. Now we're going to go to Greece. Ooh. Oh, I beg your pardon. Somehow these out of sequence. Section number 12. That's fine. That's fine. Let it play. This is another example of 9. A slower 9 from Macedonia. Instruments are zurla, which is the ancestor of the shawm, double reed instrument, ancestor of, actually it's called shawm, or ancestor of the oboe. This is played predominantly by Turks and by Roma in Macedonia. In Bulgaria, these days it's primarily in the feeding area associated with a village called Kavrakiro, which is near Petric. Very interesting rhythm. This is a dance that's called Kalajsko Oro, which is a traditional guild dance. This is done by the tinsmiths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 2, 2. 1, 2, 2, 2. 2, 1, 2, or if you want, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 2, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. You can accent any number of ways. Yes, it's probably hard on your ears if you're not used to this. For me, it's heaven. The last orchestra is the kind you see in mountains. And this is before they had electric guitars, amplification. When you have outdoor weddings, right? Those instruments can be heard throughout the valley. You get 2 of those in the tapan, that's all you need. Now this is a very interesting example of cross-fertilization. The genre belongs to the Greek tradition that became very popular in early 20th century with the exchange of populations between the Greeks who lived in Anatolia for millennia and the Turks who had lived in the Balkans for 400 or 500 years. As a result of the Balkan Wars, there were population exchanges, and a tradition called repetika grew up, so-called the Greek blues. The displaced Greeks from Asia Minor who found it hard to find a job. Their accent in Greek was very archaic and strange to the mainland Greeks, so they formed an underclass, especially in the port cities, in the docks. And out of this underclass, if you will, grew this whole tradition that involved hashish and music and cigarettes and alcohol and hopelessness, right? And that's why they call it the Greek blues. It's a very compelling song. It's done. The dance form is called zepekikos. If anybody wants to try telling me what the meter is, you're welcome to. I myself would never guessed it if people hadn't told me. But what's interesting is that even though the genre is Greek, the singer is Bulgarian. Her name is Kichka Bodorova. And she, in fact, was just interviewed in one of the Bulgarian newspapers last week. She might be coming to Chicago for a concert. But beautiful song. It means my aching heart. Any guesses as to what this meter is? Quick, slow, quick, slow, slow. And then quick, slow, 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 begin. Quick, slow, quick, slow, quick, slow. That loosen. Quick, slow, single slow, quick, slow, double, slow. If you count all the beats, it's a 9/4. But the accent totally throws you off. I'll count a few once and 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But to fit into a 9/4 rhythm, you've got to go across all the accents and beats, right? Accents, and it makes it very natural. When you're actually doing the Zebekiko dance, it's much more natural to follow the quick, slow, slow, then the quick, slow, etc. So, great. Okay. Now, this is a great musician, not to be confused with the actor who played Frankenstein, with the same name, Boris Karloff. Boris Karloff was maybe the greatest Roma accordion player in the Balkans in the period of 1940s to 1950s. So much so that there were many American enthusiasts who collect his music. Very typical rhythm for Eastern Serbia, Eastern Macedonia, Western Bulgaria. Any guesses on either time signature, number of beats, quicks and slows? Have you heard of a local musician named Howard Levy? A very good blues harmonica player, jazz pianist, plays in Brazilian groups. One of the most talented musicians in town. He has a really nice bluesy interpretation of this piece. An album he recorded some years ago. No takers? Short. I'll come back to you on that one.
Is it quick, slow?
Well, the answer is yes to both of you, depending on how long those slows are. Are they, 3 beats, 4 beats, 5 beats? So you have to tell me more explicitly. If you can tell me in terms of the most basic component of quicks and slows defined as 2s and 3s, that'll be the most clear and explicit way to tell me if you figure out the rhythm. Can you tell me in terms of 2s and 3s, or will it help you if I do it here? Time's up.
I'm getting like 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, how about if I play this way? I'm actually playing on every 16th note. That's the same thing, just removing some of the secondary beats.
Even number of beats.
2 plus 3 plus 2 plus 2. Even the Bulgarians call this krivo horo, crooked dance. So don't feel bad. But that's very, very typical, very characteristic rhythm. Let's skip to the next one and see what we get. Oh, it's a beautiful piece. Now we're getting some serious Balkan rhythms. Okay? Let me give you a hint. Okay, you know what? Without hints. Without hints, I'll give you a disc right away. Because this is one of my favorite rhythms. And another layer of complexity laid on top of what we've discussed so far. I'll explain in a minute. This is the great clarinet player Tale Ognanovsky from Macedonia. You know what this is, right? Pushta. Any guesses? Quick, slows, time signature, total number of beats in the measure. If it help you, I can play on the tarabuka. This is actually more of a Middle Eastern style tarabuka, but this kind of drum is very popular throughout the Balkans. The most traditional ones were made of clay, which is what this emulates. And the skin will be goat skin, calf skin. And in recent years, of course, they make these things out of cast aluminum, they make them out of fiberglass. They put mylar, or either plastic or mylar tops on top, skins on top, not really skins, but drum heads on top. Any guesses? This dance form is called Pushtino. Beautiful genre found throughout the Pelagonian region of Macedonia that spans the Republic of Macedonia and northern Greece. No guesses? One. Includes nine. How's that? One. Tell me any of the following. How many total beats? Time signature. Number of longs and shorts. And you get a disc. Well, even if you remember the name of the dance, not you. Yeah. That's coming up next. Actually, not next, but about 2 more pieces. Good guess. You're catching on to the idea. It's not alternating measures, but should I give you a hint?
It's like 9 something.
You're on the right track. This is a beautiful piece. It's also kind of a dirty trick. So far, all the examples of Balkan rhythms we've heard so far has a single lengthened beat. And so this is just Kuo's term, my term. I call them simple Balkan meters, or simple asymmetrical meters. This is the first piece you've heard that has more than one lengthened beat, and that makes it hard. You're expecting a recurring cycle of short, either preceded or followed by a certain number, and that pattern should repeat. Okay? This is what I call an additive or compound Aksak meter, because what it does is, not only do you have a short beat, a lengthened beat with some longer beats, you have another section with a lengthened and short beats, and those two are not of unequal duration. So not only are the beats themselves not of unequal duration, but the segments within the measure are not of equal duration. You understand what I'm saying? If it were simply 3-2-2, 3-2-2, 3-2-2, you have one of the first examples we played, Lesnoto, Makedonsko devojče, kitka šarina, slow, quick, slow, quick. But no, the Southern Macedonians drop one beat every second subsection, if you will. So you have 3, 2, 2, 3, 2. 3, 2, 2, 3, 2. Short, I'm sorry, long, short, short, long, short. Does that make sense? Can we just jump back just for a second so we can actually say it and you can hear it? And this is what makes it endlessly interesting. This is another example of that. 3, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 2. Long, short, short, long, short. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Belongs to a family called Beranchit Pushtino, and the Greeks call it Leventikos, which means we won't get into that. We're going to politics if I start talking about that. Yeah, next one, please. Okay, Albanian piece. A little bit louder. Play on a shadigia, which is a pluck string instrument, and then you see right there, tarabuka. Maybe a little bit louder. Any guesses on the rhythm or meter? By the way, the last one, the meter will be 12, obviously, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2 is 5. 1, 2, 3, 1. I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2 is 7. Then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2 is 5. 5 plus 7 is total of 12, as musicologists would notate it. Okay, if it helps you. Very good. Excellent. But where are the souls and quicks?
I haven't quite figured that part out. I'm able to figure out what the beginning
right.
is.
So yes, nominally the time signature of this piece is the same as the previous piece. They're both 12s, but the longs and shorts are shifted a little bit. Okay? Previous example of the drop beat, yes. In other words, instead of being recurring 7s, you drop 1/16, right? Because 7, if we were, each short beats were 2/16s. If you double it, you have 14. You drop one beat, which is 2/16s, you have 12. So in that sense, yes. If you took 2 7s, you drop, it's 2/16s from one of the 7s. This is Macedonian perikaval, shepherd's flute. By the way, it has a 3-octave range. This is the same instrument as is exhibited in Bulgaria. That's a example of actually it's from Varna. I have 2 of these. This is from northeastern Bulgaria along the Black Sea, a town called Varna. It's made of cornel wood, which is basically a cousin of the dogwood. It's a hardwood. This is a Thracian style kaval. It was actually made by a person with a PhD from the U of C in mathematics. We had these crazy people back in the old days who found the true calling in Balkan music and dance after having, gone to the U of C. Isn't that what it's all about, right? Today he's a violin maker in Cambridge. But after he got his PhD in mathematics, he was probably teaching some junior college somewhere in California, wherever, but had gotten deeply into the Balkan music and dance scene thanks to our ensemble, Balkanske Igre, which he was a member of, before me. And while he was in California, doing his menial academic job, but working at his passion, he began making really great instruments, Balkan instruments. This is the 44th kaval he made. And the kaval makers will always put their initials in the back. You'll see DG, Dave Galber, good Bulgarian name, 44, because he was the 44th instrument. It's actually made from kokoboli, which is a very hardwood found, I believe, in Central America. But it's really, really well made.
This is completely handmade?
This is completely handmade by Dave Goldberg, PhD in mathematics in the U of C. But it's made exactly in the Thracian style. In fact, Theodosi Spasov, whom I showed it to, was quite complimentary toward about it.
And the other one was with horn.
Right, the other was with horn. So the the Bulgarian peasants, I guess, figured out what Western flute makers had figured out, which is when you have a really long instrument, you have two choices. You have to have they call it a tree, basically two rods that can keep this really straight. By the way, if you promise to be really, really, really careful after you've handled the Bulgarian kaval, I want you to, and just please be careful of the tip, which you can see is really, really thin. But after you handle the Bulgarian kaval, see how light this is. Okay, this is made of ash wood. That's made of, traditionally made of pear wood. But the two examples I have here, the first one is made of cornel or dogwood, and the second one is made of cocoa boli. Oh, gee, you don't need oil on you, do you? I should oil these. And these are so tight. So after I take them all, they almost won't come off. Okay, I'll just risk one of them.
Yeah.
What happened was in this old master maker, Islam Ferrati, was a very upright fellow. He made his kavals. He didn't change his prices. And some enterprising Slavic Macedonians who played for various orchestras figured out that there was a foreign market, Germans, Americans, and other people that were willing to pay lots of money because they were interested in Balkan music. So they would buy from him and then quadruple the price for the foreigners. And when Islam figured out what was going on, he stopped selling kavals to anyone except people he knew. So I got these through my friend Lyucho Milinkovsky, who is a kaval master, who was a 3-time gold medalist on the instrument, who, by the way, will also be teaching and performing at our festival in March. And when Lyucho was living in the U.S., sent his father to buy some more of them for him. This is when he was still alive. Islam says, "Oh, I don't have any kavals." And then finally his father says, "Oh, these are for Lyucho." "Oh, for Lyucho, I always have kavals." Stored just for Lyucho, because Lyucho was a really good player, and he was not one of those who had gone around and flipped the kavals for quadruple the price. If you're interested in this, there's a website by a person by the name of Tony Tammer. If you do a search on Tony Tammer and Mastering Kaval, you'll find a very informative site where he's done quite a bit of research. The research Tony has done indicates that as late as the beginning of the 20th century, you may have had more than 100,000 nomadic shepherds of various ethnicities: Albanians, Vlachs, so-called Armenians, as well as Slavic shepherds. Single one in.
Oh.
Okay. And if you read the literature about the Ottoman Turks, of course, the Bulgarian literature, Macedonian literature, they don't have very many kind things to say about the Turks, at least today, right, in the revisionist history. However, one benefit of the Ottoman era was that without national boundaries, since Bulgaria, Macedonia, Greece are all provinces within the Ottoman domain, the nomadic shepherds could roam freely from the Carpathians all the way to Salonika. And so in doing so, they may have helped in the propagation of musical culture, maybe dance culture. Certainly they were tremendously talented kaval players. And the shepherds would use the flutes to actually summon their flocks, or actually teach them to obey certain commands. And whole mythologies grew up about how good certain kaval players were. That they say, for example, there was one who, this is actually a Yuruk tale. Yuruk being one of the Turkic tribes that the Ottomans settled the Balkans with. A certain shepherd wanted to win the hand of the daughter of his master. They were both kaval players. And the master says, "Fine, you may have my daughter if you prove yourself a good enough kaval player. And here are the rules. You will keep your sheep without water for a week. Okay, and you'll feed them plenty of salt. You will then bring them to the spring where the water is. Okay, bring the whole flock to the water. Then with your kaval, you will call them away from the water." Okay, so the guy says, I think I'm up to it. He brings his flock, right, having done all the requisite preparations, and when he played, all the sheep moved away except for one black sheep. I'm not sure if it's actually black, but the one that wouldn't obey, who went for the water. So the shepherd then played the most supplicating song, the song that sort of beseeched him, this, from all his heart, "Please help me with this." And indeed, even that sheep, responded to the beautiful kaval playing and went into the water, and thereby the shepherd won the hand of the girl that he was after. So there's all kinds of lore around the power of kaval. And if you heard earlier that the mystical, almost sounding breathy tone, you might understand what I'm talking about. By the way, don't try with this one. This is too delicate. But you're welcome to try getting a tone out of this. Anyone?
Give a CD if someone makes a tone.
Yeah, I'll give you a CD. You can get a tone out of this. Anybody play flute here? This is obviously different. What's different from?
A little bit first?
Okay, what's different about this instrument, of course, is that the Western flutes are transverse, right? You blow across the hole. Here, unlike a recorder, it's played from the top, but there's no fipple. Okay, this is pretty much a straight tube with holes. And there's even a lore about when you finger it, you play these. And what are these extra holes? They call them devil's holes. And again, the mythology around it is that a certain shepherd played it, and it sounded so good that the devil was jealous. So that while the shepherd was, I guess, sleeping, the devil sneaked up, took the kaval away, and drilled some extra holes on the bottom. Well, guess what? It sounded even better, and the devil was just furious and went away. So I'm not sure if I can get tones out of it because I haven't oiled it. But. I'm not a very good kaval player, but at least I'll give you some sense of what it sounds like live. If anyone wants to give it a try, it took me 3 days of hyperventilation to get my first tone out of the instrument. The key is to use a stream of breath that's no stronger than what it takes to whistle, okay? And then you split the stream. You cannot do it straight on. You start straight on. You place, let's say if you're right-handed, place the left edge against the center of your lip, then you tilt it at a proper angle, keeping the stream toward the center, and then with the right amount of breath, if you change the angle, it stops. You have to find the exact right angle. So, let's give them another example. Oh, by the way, earlier, the 212 examples, we didn't finish that. Right, the first example was 3, 2, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 2. Macedonian. The Albanians was, let's see, slow, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, slow, quick, quick. It reverses the 2. That is, the Macedonian example had 3, 2, 2, then a shorter 3, 2. Right, the Albanian transposes them, and you have 3, 2, 3, 2, 2. Can we hit just a brief example to just show them?
Of each one?
Each one, yes. First, the Macedonian with the clarinet. That's the Albanian. And that's okay. 3, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 2. And then go back. This is 3, 2, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 2. Great. Let's go to the next one. Postupano.
Okay.
It should be number the one after the Drenica. This is not exactly the same type, but the same family. What you're hearing is a gaida, and then we'll let Martin handle this, since this is his instrument. A gaida is basically a dead goat, or dead sheep, right? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, this is your kaval. Oh, this is Martin's kaval. If you want to see it, another example with horn. So Martin has much more money than I have, so he can afford the nice stuff. I get the old cheap plastic parts. He gets the one with horn connections.
This is made out of triangle.
Yeah, dogwood. So, most people in the West associate bagpipes with Scotland, Ireland, and maybe if you're really into music, Brittany. But you'll find instruments that use goatskins and sheepskins just about everywhere they roam.
This is actually
So-
this is the head, this here, the,
Right.
the legs.
Thank you for all the unnecessary details, Martin, but yes. The Turks call it tulum, Romanians call it chimpoi, the Bulgarians, the Macedonians, and the Greeks use a word that's basically based on the word gaida. No drum? Where's your drum?
It's a bit too loud.
Oh, okay. So drone pipe, chanter, and then mouthpiece. And the traditionally we carry inside. There you go. Now you get the full experience. Thank you, Martin. And in fact, some of the oldest, that'd be one of the very oldest instruments. There's a song called Nestinarsko, which is a firewalker's dance, which is traditionally played on gaida, which folklorists date to pre-Christian Dionysian rites in Thrace. And if you go back to the ancient inhabitants of the Balkans, who do you have? You have Thracians, you have Illyrians, you have Dacians in what is now Romania, and Moesians in the Central Balkans. And so folklorists have traced a certain dance called Nestinarsko that used to be used to welcome the coming of summer. It was done on the summer solstice. And the old Thracians would build a big bonfire. I guess they also do this in the South Pacific. Let the fire die down. You get these glowing embers and ashes, whatnot, and they will work themselves into a bit of a trance or a frenzy, and they would dance across the hot coals and to the music, to the sound of Nestinarsko Horo. So
Still dying some.
yes. So old Thracian Dionysian rites, and Martin will be leading that outside in June, right? June 21st. Don't miss it. So we were playing a little bit of the postupano, which is from Macedonia. Kaval. You're hearing again this thing, my favorite instrument. I hear them go up the register. One stays, the drone, the iso, stays there. The other one's playing the melody. And they're very breathy tones called kaba. The best players are actually able to get two tones at the same time. They're able to get the tube to resonate at a deep fundamental frequency, even while playing the melody on top of that. So when I was playing melody, I was just getting the primary. But the best player, you hear this, that sound. Okay, guide up. Now top on. Rhythm. What's rhythm? Give me slows and quicks, number of beats. Drum it out on the table, or tell me time temperature. Mathematics would say kavo, the Bulgarians say kavo. Mathematics say kavo. The Greeks say jamada or klohira. last hope. I've been trying to figure out this rhythm myself. No. Any ideas?
Something like
1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
something like
Good guess. By the way, the gentleman playing the gaida is the leader of the group, which is the folk orchestra of folk instruments of radio television Skopje. His name was, he's passed away in 1996, Petr Atanasovsky. In 1968, he won first place over a field of 1,800 pipers from 14 countries, including Ireland, Scotland, Turkey, Bulgaria, and was named the greatest piper in the world. And he was a guest at the UFC International Folk Festivals in 72, in 82, and then we invited him again for a weekend of workshops at Idenois Hall in 92. Unfortunately, he passed away in 96, so no longer available to join us, but his music lives on. Final guess.
long, short, long, short, short.
Long, short, long, short, long, short, short. Pretty close. You're only missing one beat. If you divide the long into two, it's actually quick, slow, quick. 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 2. Just give us a little sample of that. Double, triple, double. 9 plus 4. Skip to the middle of it.
I'll try.
One step on starts. Good. Quick, slow. Quick. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. Quick, slow. Quick, slow. Quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. Very okay.
Skip one.
Next one, yes. Next one, Bulgaria. Folklore Orchestra. The name of the dance is called Buchinish, named after what Socrates was forced to drink, hemlock, from Pazarjik. Any guess on this one? If it helps. Devilish one. Want to give it a try? Anybody else? Quick slows.
11.
More. I'll give you a hint. There's only one slope. So from that perspective, I consider it a simple aksak meter. Okay. Room ta, room ta, room ta da ta, room ta, room ta, room ta da da. Quick, slow. Quick, slow. 15. 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 2, da 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 da
Bye.
1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2. Make sense? Okay. So much for the easy ones. Please give us the next one. Now we'll get to the hard ones. This is played by Goran Alachki, one of the greatest, maybe the greatest accordion player from Macedonia, who was here in January and played at the church in Hinsdale. This is not a naturally occurring rhythm. It's not a rhythm that's from the village. This is really a composition created by his teacher, Georgi Dimchevsky, who was the music director of the National Folk Ensemble. But it uses elements of the aksak in a very compelling, interesting way to create a composite rhythm that has not existed, in the real village. That's a beautiful piece. And tricky place. It'll help you. Go to the next one and give you a chance to tease it out. I should just tell you. Okay. 17. 2 3 3 2 2 3 2 2 3 3 2 2 3 2. Quick, slow, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick. Yeah. Okay, next one is actually authentic from the village, found in Eastern Serbia, Macedonia, and Bulgaria. It's called Jove, Malaj, Mome. Jove is like Joan, Malaj, Mome means young girl, young maiden. Give you a hint. It's a compound, what I call a compound aksak leader. Meaning it has more than one long. It is in fact a composite of 2 meters of cover already. I'll even tell you what it is if you tell me where the long short beats are. It's 7 plus 11. Any idea of total beats? Longs and shorts? One side? Sure. It's 18/16. Slow, quick, 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 slow, quick, quick, short, long, long, short, long, long, short, short, long, short, short. Let's skip the next one, Sandansko, and go straight to the last one. The last Bulgarian piece, Stedi Donka. I'll just go ahead and tell you what this is. Unless you've got an instant epiphany. Slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, 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 slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, 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 slow, quick, quick, 1 2 3 2 2 3 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 2 2 3 1 2 3 4 5 7 7 11 25/16. So, we've covered meters from 5 to 25. I hope it's not been too confusing, but just to give you a sort of a flavor of how rich, and there are many, many more that we have not gone into, but those are the most typical meters you'll come across. Okay, you can stop that music. Any questions about the concept of lengthened beat versus short beat, how they aggregate it, how they use those to build up meters which in Western notation are written anywhere from 5/16ths, or in this case up to 25/16ths. Still making sense? I like to, one of my other areas of interest is Rome culture. That is,
I just wanted to, I mean, obviously everybody's welcome to stay, but
yes.
Also if you guys need to leave.
Okay.
It's fine to do that.
Okay, but it's the end of the class?
End of the, yes, the
right, okay.
the length of the class.
Yes, yes,
so
yes.
whoever is interested, please stay and we'll talk more. If you need to go,
yes.
now's your chance.
I have some samples of videos that you might find interesting, of field recordings I made in 86, 87, both in Estonia and also in Rome weddings, so-called gypsy weddings. If anyone's interested in knowing more about the festival, about the ensemble, or about Balkan music, we also have a weekly class. You can put down your email address. If you like copies of this music, two possibilities. I can get copies to Angelina, or if you'll come to our Balkan Basics class on March 7th, I expect to have more copies of this. In the meantime, I think that you deserve to have a copy since you either came really close or tried on so many of them. And then whoever else feels they deserve to have one. I have one more copy. I'll just put it out here, and you guys can
We'll make
decide
you
among
more.
yourselves.
If you
And
want
actually,
more.
Angelina has a copy in the machine.
Yes.
So,
Copy.
which one is that? Does this say Rome music, by the way?
Yes, this is
Okay, that's the so-called people formerly called gypsies. Okay,
Yes.
it's Rome and Turkish.
If anybody would like a copy too, I can.
Right.
For educational purposes.
Yeah, okay.
Normally,
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
The other one, I actually have two different discs. One, the two of you have the Rome music, and then the other one I give out is the one that actually ranges from 5/16, actually from freeform to 5/16 to 25/16, and everything in between. And Angelina has another copy, so she can either share with
Is
you or
anybody interested in
any copies.
seeing?
Okay. If anyone has time, we can show you some of the
To
video.
see the
If
video.
not, we can show you another
Remind
time.
me, and I
Sure.
will gladly educate you.
Okay.
Purposely.
Okay.
Okay, we'll just show you a few clips of it, of the stuff. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Stay longer,
Thank you.
but I have
Thank you.
Thank you.
employment.
Hope you guys can make it on Sunday afternoon, March 8th, right? March between
Yes.
2 and 5 at iHouse.
Oh, they
International
will
House.
make it. I'll make it.
March 8th?
Right. March 8th will be,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
March 8th will be, here we have the life of the mind, and March 8th will be the life of the mind and body and soul, right? We'll actually be dancing. We can watch, yeah, sure, we can watch dancing. Well, can we start this, Angelina, can we just start the video?
No, just a second.
You started.
The
Tell me how to
DVD.
skip. Yeah, the DVD. Yeah. We also need volunteers for the festival if anyone wants to. It's right after the finals week, so if you don't have spring break plans, you're welcome to join us for the festival. This is filmed at a monastery called Sveti Pantelimon, St. Pantelimon, outside Skopje. All the musicians, the drummers, and the people playing the zurla are Roma, people formerly called gypsies. Most of the dancers are Slavic Macedonians. And this, I shouldn't torture anymore. Any idea what the rhythm is? we did it with one of the very first ones. The instruments are those zurna. In English we call them shalm, or double reed, ancestors of the oboe. The dance they're doing is called pravolko or lesnoko. Pravolko means the straight dance, and lesnoko means the easy dance. He's a great drummer, by the way. Showboating a little bit here. What's interesting is that he's playing a 7/8, a slow, quick. But he's such a great drummer, he doesn't bother to actually hit the beats on the beats. He plays around it, under it, over it, in front of it, behind it, but you know where every beat is. And that's what the greatest musicians, whether they're pianists, violinists, etc., you have literal notes on a page, you have literal beats where you expect to have beats. But the greatest players can suggest all that by playing around it without having to literally actually hit those beats. And that's what he does. Of course, it helps if you first know the dance is 7/16 and know where to expect the beats, right? Then your anticipation can match how he syncopates and omits beats and suggests beats. We have a guy here who's got obviously too much to drink and room, da, da, room, da, da, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow. And this is an example where musicians actually follow the dancers. Seeing the tip, the bakshish. And that's the custom. Whoever's leading the line will tip the musicians. He's now showing off that he's got the tip. And reminding others that if they want to lead the line, he's ready to play for them. Now the music's speeding up. You gotta follow the dancers to follow the beat. Slow, quick, quick, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 2, 2, Let's skip forward to a piece in 13/16. This is a piece in 13/16. The guy leading it is probably in the 60s, maybe even 70. Extremely skillful dancer with great style, great spirit. 3, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 3, 2, slow, quick, slow, slow, quick, slow, quick, slow, slow, quick, slow, quick, slow, quick, slow, quick, slow, slow, quick. And despite having such a complex rhythm, he is syncopating against that rhythm. Dance is Ibrahim Hoja. Ibrahim, of course, is Abraham. Ibrahim, last names drop the H. Ibrahim Hoja is Hoja with the H drop, someone who has made the journey to Mecca. Skip forward to
yeah, just a second.
style. Paryushko. The first rhythmic example we showed, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, quick, slow, quick, slow, quick, slow, quick, slow, the so-called heartbeat rhythm. So, in the old days and even today, the monasteries become gathering points for people in the villages on certain saints' days. Everyone will show up on a given saints' day. The Rome musicians will show up because they know there will be plenty of people there, and the people will tip the bands to play their favorite songs. So on this is in August of 1987. The Macedonian say Sobir, the Bulgarian say Sabor. This is just in the village, Dračevo. Yes. My teacher for Kaval. It's in his house. This is his father playing a little gaida. Bagpipe. (11/16). Quick, quick, slow. Sorry, 7. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, double, double, triple, double, double, triple. This is in the Rome quarter, called Shuto Orizari, or Shutka for short. Shutka outside in the outskirts of Skopje and Sliven, Bulgaria, are two of the largest Rome settlements in the world. There's so many Roma in the settlement, 50,000, that they have their own folklore group. In Skopje there are daily programs, radio and television programs in the Rome language. And everyone in this community speak Rome as their first language. Romani language is their first language. Outside, when they deal with Macedonians, they'll speak Macedonian, but among themselves, they're all speaking Romani. If you've seen the film Borat, the very first, about 60% of the music in there are Eastern European Rome music. Obviously, it's not Kazakh music. And the very first song, in fact, this is the so-called Rome anthem, international anthem. Jelem Jelem means I wander, I wander. Romale, Roma, gypsies. Romale means children. So all Roma and all children. Roma. It means I wander the world, I've seen much sadness. It also makes allusions to the Black Guard, which were the Romanian stormtroopers that colluded with the Nazis to kill the Roma and send them to the concentration camps. His name is Raim, a very good singer in the Rome quarter. This guy, Mefo, made my big drum, which I didn't bring today. He comes from a family, a clan, named Idris, who are considered the greatest drummers, greatest Rome. I mean, first of all, in Macedonia, most of the best drummers are Roma, and they are considered the best of the Roma among the drummers. His father toured the world with a group called Orta Nikolov, and in Cuba, he amazed the Afro-Cuban jazz drummers because they were playing with complexity, right? He was doing with the same or better, even greater complexity on 5, 7, 9, 11, 15, etc. They just dazzled him. And all three of his sons are great tapangia. He's the middle son, he's my friend. Oldest son played for the national ensemble but died of a heart attack in the last year. And the youngest son plays in the same ensemble his father played in. By day, their day jobs are often things like metalworking, canning hides, many professions that the Slavic majority don't want to do. You know, very menial and very difficult unpleasant work. He works in a factory that specializes in metalworking metal products. So I was their guest for a better part of a week. Now, have you ever seen the film called Latchkey and Marienbad? Do they still show that at Doc Films? There's a game called Nim, which I believe is traced back to the Egyptians. You put down sticks or matches, you remove in turn, and then either you lead your opponent with the last one, you take the last one, you win. So I didn't know very much Romani language, but while I was there, I showed them the game of Nim, which they loved, because everyone smokes, everyone had matches, cost no money, right? And they became very enthusiastic. And I found this especially interesting because they were explaining the rules of Nim in Romani language. So they're arguing about strategy and discussing how you can win and da. So this is the real Roma and not the Hollywood gypsy. Now we're actually visiting weddings. In August, this is a prime time for weddings. In the course of about 2 hours, they took me on a tour of Shutka. We saw no fewer than 10 Rome weddings in that short time that we walked around. In fact, one of them has got great sequence with this great drummer. I've got to show you this if I can find it. Most of the wedding parties had these bandstands with electric instruments, but there was one segment where we were walking down the street. We came. Yeah, this is the interior of a Rome house. This is just the Rome quarter, showing different weddings that we passed through. Everyone was dressed in the old Turkish style shalvari. I think in English they call them harem pants, or whatever. I don't know what the proper term is in English. So if you wanted to see how Roma really live and play and sing and dance, go to Shutka, outside Skopje, Shuto Orizari, or go to Sliven in Bulgaria. There was a film, you mentioned earlier, the Shutka Book of Records that was shown at the Facets. This is the famous Zurlagia. Gave him a copy of our brochure. His name is it's just a market in the Rome quarter. I think we're almost there. This is just a field. This little baba is so cute. This little grandma. Anyways, the very first song that opens the film Borat, it's called Chai Shkiriye, sung by a woman named Esna Recepova, whose cousin, Shani Rifati, will be coming to our festival to teach Rome dances and songs and culture, and give culture sessions on Roma. And anyways, her song was, Chai Shkiriye means beautiful girl in Romani language. It was the first song ever to I guess hit the charts, at least in Europe, that was sung in Romani language. The very first international hit. You've probably heard it. Chayuriye shkariye, ma birudi palamande, ma birudi palamande chaye, chaye. Halam klama chay shkariye, mo pasilida chay shkariye, idin dikman chaye. Here's the Rome wedding. So we're just walking along, visiting various weddings, and all of a sudden, oh no, this is not it. This is not it. In 1963, a huge earthquake hit Skopje, devastated the city, leveled large portions of it. The Roma, who were living in a quarter called Topana, were offered land on the outskirts. So many of them settled out there. And even though that was 30, 40 years ago, you see that many of the housing still looks very temporary. You have corrugated metal serving as the main structure. And for these weddings, there's an ingenious system where you have a horse-drawn cart that arrived with planks of wood, trestles, huge pots that they cooked in. And then once they arrived at the wedding site, which is held right in the street in front of the people's houses, they would take the pots off, build fires, cook the food to be served to the guests. These long boards and trestles became instant tables that lined the sides of the streets. And the cart that all this was carried in became the bandstand. So the musicians sat in the bandstand and played, and all this other stuff was taking place, being cooked, people being served. And if you were lucky enough to be invited as a guest, you would actually get to sit, eat, dance, etc. If you were not on such good terms with these people, but you were neighbors, you might have all this taking place right in your front, in front of your yard, so you get to enjoy all the music, etc. And then if you're not so lucky to have your yard facing them directly, then you would have to listen behind the stage, as it were. As you can see, just one after another, Rome wedding after Rome wedding, we walk through. Oh, this is just to show you. This is a shepherd with his flocks, running right adjacent to one quarter in Skopje. And earlier, the bells you heard in the Skados, in the Greek section, are the same kind of bell you're hearing right now. Probably walk. Много работа. The Vlachs are probably the most famous of the nomadic shepherds in the Balkans. In Bulgaria, they live primarily around Vidin, right? In Serbia, around Negotin, Sajača. In Macedonia, you find them actually, all over where they're mountains. I've met Vlachs in Struga. There are Vlachs in northern Greece. I think this is it. This is it. This is great. This is likely a party that's going to fetch the bride. Okay, in the old days, the custom was when a young man and woman are getting married, the groom's party, you have to go to the bride's house and usually pay a ransom to be admitted to the house. And usually there's been some negotiations. They will not enough. You can't come in. You try to sneak in through windows or through a back door. And then the bride's family have people posted to guard the windows and back doors, etc. Finally, when they paid enough money, all right, you can come in now, right? And so there are all these rituals that will take place. Angelina, I'm sure, is aware of, has gone through this sort of thing, right, with her own family. But this, you don't see the bride. I don't see the bride in this group, so that's why I concluded that it's the groom's family making a procession to the bride's house to fetch her, and then accompanied, of course, by musicians. And the drummers is tremendous. Playing a 9. Quick, slow. Quick, slow. Double, triple. Double. And of course, everyone just dances along. This is a very common characteristic. Later on, you see in Struga, southern Macedonia, the year before. Oh, look at that. The most skill is right here. Watch this left bed. Again, Vrumla. Now he's changed rhythms. I was so enthralled, I wish I could follow them. My host would say, let's go. They know everybody. And they're the kings, so to them he's nothing special, but to me he was extraordinary. I turned around and started following them with the camera. Forced to continue. We saw about 8 more weddings after that. Now let me skip to the wedding in Struga. southern Macedonia. This is straight joke. This is a monastery called Setin Naum. By the way, the Slavic liturgy was first translated from the New Testament Greek and Hebrew in and around the town of Ohrid, which at that time was part of the Bulgarian kingdom. And so you can say that the old Bulgarian kingdom, which is in today's Republic of Macedonia, was the area that gave literacy, they brought literacy to the Slavic world. Because thanks to Sion Methodius, their student Naum, and I think his student Clement, the Glagolithic evolved into what is today called Cyrillic. The Christian liturgy was first translated into a Slavic language for the first time using a local dialect. What people either call Old Macedonian, Old Bulgarian, Old Serbian, depending on your political affiliation. I think in the West we just call Old Church Slavonic, Old Slavic. But from there, that spread to Serbia, all over Bulgaria, Russia, Ukraine, and wherever Orthodox religion and where Slavic language is used. In fact, I believe the liturgy is the same, whether you go to Russian Orthodox Church, Bulgarian Orthodox Church, Serbian Orthodox Church, Господи, помолимся. It's exact same liturgical language, just as Latin for the Western Catholic Church was for centuries and centuries. So this is in the town of Struga, which is on the Lake Ohrid. On the other end from the town, there's a lake called Ohrid. Struga is on the northern end of it. Then on the other end of the lake is the town of, the monastery of Stepanel, where the Saint Naum was buried. And we had just visited that. We had get up at 4 or 5 in the morning, catch a boat, some rode across, visited all day. I came back, I was exhausted. I lay down. As I lay down, I heard music through my window. I said, "What's this?" I look out. Romska svadba, a Rome wedding. So I grabbed my camera, I ran down, and I couldn't resist it. And called me Victor Jr. I was ready to run out too myself. You were a serious director many, many years ago. While he was in a Fulbright fellowship in Macedonia. Was seen climbing out of a window when a Rome wedding passed by. Okay, he was on the first floor. He was able to climb out the window, and the other Fulbright fellows saw him climb out the window, join the Rome wedding party, and disappear down the road. He was gone for 3 days. So sometime when you see Victor, when he comes back, ask him about it. So this is a Rome wedding. They just spilled out of the hotel where they had, I guess, some banquet or some, where they reserved the hall. They came out to the parking lot. They're dancing on the parking lot. Later on, you'll see them go right down the middle of the street. There's not that much traffic in Struga. So you see them going right down the middle of the street and then into the Rome Quarter. You see, in this kind of itinerant, moving wedding party, you can have amplifiers. You can have instruments that can carry, that everyone can hear. So the zurla, tapan, or in this case saxophone, accordion, a banjo-like instrument called jumbush, and a karabuka, the hand drum. And that rhythm, that's the most typical duple time for what's called chochek in Macedonia, or in Bulgaria, kuchek. This gentleman jumped up and says, "You want to show off?" He's like pressing me against my camera. So this is the real Roma life. Victor knows Roman language, so. So, any questions about, by the way, my pad make it all the way around? I hope you guys can. Well, we'll come. This is actually not my pen. So whose pen is this? Okay. Great. Any questions about Balkan rhythms, Balkan music, Balkan dance? Rome culture. And this.
Do you have specific musical traditions for other kind of subcultures within the Balkans, like Polmex, for instance? Bulgaria? Do they have their own?
Absolutely. I mean, especially songs, right? Songs that are meaningful for them because the Polmex, for those of you not familiar, the Polmex are the Muslim, the Slavs who converted to Muslim, to Islam, who live predominantly in southern Bulgaria. So yeah, there will be Polmex songs. They have their own mode of dress. Mm-hmm. Obviously, their customs are different because their holidays, what's important to them in their religion is different from the Christian. But
do you generally see their musical traditions more mirroring those of the Turks? I mean, more precisely, or Arabs?
It depends. It's hard to generalize. I would say that the Muslim Albanians of Kosovo probably show a fair amount of Turkish influence in their music, but they also have their own stuff, like all the 12s, and you don't see that so much in Turkish music, but they have those. But as far as the sound of it, like the shargia and the instrumentation from Kosovo, it sounds very Turkish, I have to say. The Torbeshi less so. Those are the Slavic Macedonians who converted to Islam, the counterparts to the Polmex in Bulgaria. They will use primarily Zurla and Kapan in Western Macedonia, like Debar, Lazaropole, Galichnik, which you could argue are more Turkish type instruments, since Turks use a lot of zurna, they call it zurna, right, versus let's say more typically Slavic peasant instruments. But it's hard to generalize because like the kaval is a shared tradition among the Slavic Macedonians, among the Albanians. The Turks, they even use the same word. The Bulgarians say kaval, Macedonians call kaval. The Greeks call it zamares or florira. So you can't say that this is therefore a Turkish instrument, right? There are some ethnographers who argue that the kaval came to the Balkans from the Yuruks, the Yuruk Turks. But it's not clear that that's really the case. I mean, if you go back far enough, I mean, you can certainly find examples of flutes being played in the Balkans among the Hellenic Mycenaean civilization well before that, right? Whether or not the exact kaval configuration for a flute came with the Turks or not, that's, I think, still a matter of debate.
It reminds me very much of some ancient Greek instruments where you have these double barrel flutes. I'm not sure.
Yeah, there are still instruments called, like, for example, in ex-Yugoslavia, diple, which means, again, it suggests you have a double, two tubes that are side by side with different figurines you can play at the same time. Dvojnica is another one. Dvojnica, again, it has a single mouthpiece that flares out into two sets of tubes with fingerings, if you will, holes. But the Polmex, yeah, I mean, you can say that there's some Turkish influence, but I wouldn't say it's all. I would say overwhelmingly, Polmex songs still reminds me more of Bulgarian songs, but maybe the text and the subjects, the content may reflect their Muslim religion, right? But as far as musically, in terms of scales, etc., I don't think that the Turks have that much influence. Where you find the Turkish influence more, to predominate is in the towns. In fact, one of the themes we're exploring this year in our festival with Jim Stoyanov and his orchestra is this tradition called chalgia, not to be confused with the Bulgarian chalga. Okay, chalgia is just the Turkish word for instrument, meaning store-bought instrument, like something that a master maker has to make, versus what a shepherd himself could fashion with his own tools, like out in the field, right? So if you look at town traditions like in Veles, in Skopje, probably in larger cities even probably in towns like Melnik in the old days, during the Ottoman era, but certainly in the larger towns in Macedonia, such as Veles, Skopje, there were very strong traditions in town where wealthy merchants who had big houses, who could afford to hire professional musicians to come to the house in their salons, as it were, to entertain, for private entertainment. Okay, those kinds of town orchestras were pretty much built on Turkish Ottoman traditions. You know, you would have a violin, darabuka, kanun, which is like a zither, a long zither type that's plucked. You would have later on clarinet, sometimes oud, which is used in Arabic music. So that configuration was very common in town music. If you listen to the old town music from Macedonia and just say, and they didn't tell you where it's from, you might say, oh, it's Turkish. And why? Because it is built along, it is influenced very much by the Turkish tradition. So I think partly it's a matter of economics. It's that to play that kind of instrument, to be educated in Turkish makams, the Turkish modes, you need to have money, you need to have professional musicians who are schooled in it, right? Who could afford that? You know, most peasants in the village would not be privy to that tradition, but the townsfolk would be, right? Because they could hire professionals. If you're rich enough, you can hire them from Istanbul, right? If not, you can hire them locally. And of course, the best players during the Ottoman era, they would do jobs everywhere, right? And the better they are, the more renowned they would be, the more they'd be hired. Even today, if you look at popular music in Yugoslavia, probably not her favorites, but Lipa Brena, Zemljanec, people like that from ex-Yugoslavia, they're very, very popular in Bulgaria, even though their popularity has faded in Yugoslavia. Likewise, Ivo Papazov from Bulgaria, or Tilosis Spasov, who might be coming to Chicago, by the way. And other musicians who are renowned in Bulgaria get hired to play everywhere. Feiruz Mustafov, a Muslim Roma musician from Macedonia, gets hired to play everywhere. Bulgaria, Macedonia. He even told me about being hired by the Bulgarian mafia to play in Sofia. Okay, and for him it was a great point of pride because in the Balkans, especially in Bulgaria, Ivo Papazov is the king. Oh, this girl is marvelous. She's a great Rome dancer. Probably about, I don't know, 10, 11, 12, and his father was telling her, show what you can do. She was a little shy, and her father says, come on, come on, come on. This is how Roma does. But the famous Roma musicians in the Balkans are known to everybody, and they get hired everywhere. So Feiruz Mustafa, who's from Shtik, Eastern Macedonian town of Shtik, was hired by, he was in 97 at our festival, and he told us a story of how when he was in Bulgaria, he was summoned by some Bulgarian mafioso to come play for him, okay? And mafioso says, how much do you want? Basically like, name your price, you know. And of course, he was showing off, like whatever price you could name, no problem for me. And so Feiruz thought for a second, he knew that Evo would charge a certain price, okay, because Evo was like the biggest day. So he just on the spot in his mind said, you know what? The most thing that can happen is they'll tell me no. I ask for double whatever Evo gets. So he named this like some large amount, 5,000, 10,000 Deutschmarks, and then mafioso basically tells his henchman, the guy, and if it was said, and I know how easy it was. I would ask for twice that amount, And then I think to myself, maybe not, because if they found out how much they're charging, they might take you out in the back and do something else, But so, did I answer your question?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Thank
you. Any other questions?
It's also with the difference between urban and peasant music. It's also because during the Ottoman Empire, in the towns and the cities were primarily Ottoman centers.
Turks. Right.
So it was just very different culture, very different, even sometimes ethnic and religious makeup of what was in the town.
Right. Yeah, I mean, for the most part, the peasants live in the village. The towns are occupied by Turks, by sometimes Armenians, Greeks, Jews. Those are the town folks. A few wealthy, maybe local inhabitants, but for the most part, it was the occupiers and the people that served them. Right. And then if you're a peasant, and even dress, the Turks and the townsfolk would wear silk, satin, things imported from Paris, whereas the village folk would wear linen, wool, things that they could make on their own from the farm. So, or they could trade for it. So, Martin, thanks so much for coming with the guide.